Hello and welcome to yet another session of Knowing Marketing Better. In the previous session, I have talked about product strategy, which happens to be one of the first P's of the 4 P's of marketing. In this session, I am going to talk about the second P, or the second most important P in any marketing activity, which is pricing. Now, pricing assumes greater importance in a country like India, where a large cross section of the society are price sensitive. So, which will be the exact price band at which you should be pricing your product? That has a huge bearing on the success and failure of your products. Some of the common pricing mistakes that marketers often make are determining costs and take traditional industry margins. Second, failure to revise price to capitalize on market changes. Third, setting price independently of the rest of the marketing mix. And fourth, failure to vary price by product item, market segment, distribution channels, and purchase occasion. Now, consumer psychology and pricing, we see that there are various types of pricing which is related to consumer psychology. One is reference pricing, the second is price quality inferences, and the third is price endings and price cues. Now, of these, price quality inferences happens to be the most important pricing strategy or pricing technique based on consumer psychology. Now, if you are unable to create quality for your product, if your consumers do not get to understand what your product stands for, what is the exact quality of your product, what is the unique quality of your product, they are never going to pay the price that you might be setting. So, having the price quality equation proper is very important. Price cues, when we talk of, it is something like left to right pricing. Like this is, we see many a times nowadays that the price of a particular product stops with a 9 or ends with a 9. So 99, 999, 1099 vis-a-vis something like 2000 or 100 or 200. So this also happens to be a psychological pricing strategy which we are aware of. So when to use price cues? Well, when consumers purchase item infrequently, customers are new, product designs vary over time, prices vary seasonally, and quality or sizes vary across stores. So mostly as far as garment retailing is concerned, we come across these price cues too often. As far as steps in setting pricing are concerned, first is you have to select a price objective. So with what objective are you selecting the price for your product? Is it to have the greatest share of the market, or is it to have certain niche consumer segment for your product? So based on that you are going to select your price. The second is you have to determine the demand for your product. The third, you have to estimate the cost of making the product. Fourth, you have to analyze the competitor price mix. Fifth, you have to select a pricing method. And finally, you are selecting the final price for your product. So selecting the pricing objective, so you have certain methods for determining the base price, like the cost plus pricing, the price based on both demand and cost, and the price set in relation to market alone. So you can either base your price based on the competition or based on the demand and the costs, or it can be simple, what is the cost of making your product, plus you go for a additional margin and thus set your price. There are various pricing strategies like skimming and penetration over here, or psychological pricing, everyday low pricing. So over here I will like to discuss about the skimming pricing and the penetration pricing. Now skimming pricing is something where a particular product has come in the market and there is a lot of uniqueness about the product. The marketer feels that soon there will be a time when the competitors are going to copy that uniqueness and the uniqueness of the product will be lost. So before that thing happens, the marketer wants to get as much returns from the market, get as much revenues from the market as possible. And that is when he is pricing a premium, charging a premium for the product. The maximum possible he is charging from the customers before the competition sets in, and that is what is called as skimming pricing strategy. Penetration, on the other hand, where a marketer will try to gain or grab a greater share of the market, and in that case they will start with a lower price so that more and more customers are attracted and are interested to buy the product. Psychological pricing strategy I have already discussed, which is this 999 thing, and everyday low pricing, which is something followed by Big Bazaar in India, and there are today number of other retail outlets definitely, which is also called as the EDLP strategy, which was initially started by one of the greatest retailers in the world, which is Walmart. So what are the factors leading to the less price sensitivity? If the product is more distinctive in nature, if the buyers are less aware of the substitutes, the buyers cannot easily compare the quality of substitutes, expenditure is a smaller part of the buyer's total income, the expenditure is small compared to the total cost of the end product, part of the cost is paid by another party, the product is used with previously purchased assets, the product is assumed to have high quality and prestige, and buyers cannot store the product. So these will be certain factors where it will lead to less of a price sensitivity.